And we have a cycle here in inquiry-based learning. Of course, you need to start with what? When you are inquiring. Where do you start? Huh? No. This is a cycle. Okay. Before you start, a problem. No. You are inquiring. You are inquiring. So what you're going to ask is, yes, it's similar to that. Yeah. You need to ask. Okay. Begins with students' curiosity, of course. Okay. So that where it starts, the question, ask. Okay. And then what comes next? What do you think? Answer the asking question. No, it's like this a cycle. You do when you do your project.
Ask, what do you do?
Discuss.
If you have a question, what are you going to do?
Okay. Maybe discuss and then it's like the second one. What you need to do, you ask question. Oh, you wanted to know what's the answer.
Listen.
Huh? We're doing this over here. We're telling you the answer. Okay. You need to investigate, of course, right? Because there is that question that is your basis. So what you need now are some, researches, information about the question. Okay, and what comes next?
Good job, guys.
So you need to create something. What are you going to create, Emil? What are you going to create? Huh? Concept? Yes. Can be. What about? Investigate, then you create. Okay, you need to create something, which will answer. If, for example, you're working as a group, you need to create something which will answer the question, of course. You're done with the investigation, you go with the create, and then, okay, it's like, okay, discuss among yourselves, okay, all the gathered information, okay, what did you get? Share the ideas between each other, like what we're doing when we have this kind of activity. And then,
Evaluate.
after ending, reflect. Okay, we hear about the teacher and the students, Okay. Okay. Understand? Okay. Selection learn. I have a video here.
Something out of Calgary, Alberta. I think it's automatic A, guys. They don't have to do anything else. Calgary is one of my favorite towns in Canada.
Really?
Okay, everybody go home now. After watching Calgary.
You want to go home now?
No, I'm just kidding.
To me, inquiry is like a skill, so like asking questions, being able to ask.
I think it's just basically asking questions and finding out for yourself instead of a teacher telling you what to do.
Inquiry to me is the basic, system of going deeper into certain subjects and finding out more than what you would naturally be expected to.
It's using science and books and all sorts of different references and research projects.
Our 21st Century School project was to look into inquiry and create a rubric for students and teachers so they could build better in
Lost the sound.
If you internet, I have it here. Yeah, it's right here. Help me pray.
Tell you what, Calgary schools. What about teaching?
It's not it. We'll just try it again. Maybe it's the internet, but
You try to roll it back to the beginning, I mean, it might catch it in the vertical, I don't know. It might not, but it might, sometimes that works.
Learning by what you already know. Learning more about what.
To me, inquiry is like a school, so like asking questions, being able to ask
I
questions.
think it's just basically asking questions and finding out for yourself instead of a teacher telling you what to do.
Inquiry to me is the basic, system of going deeper into certain subjects and finding out more than what you would naturally be expected to.
It's using science and books and all sorts of different references to research projects.
Our 21st Century School project was to look into inquiry and create a rubric for students and teachers so they could build better
It's like there's a glitch at that point in the video.
yeah, I'm sorry with that. This is a nice video, actually. Dr. Andy, do you know anything about this?
What about Inquirer? Or about Calvary School?
Oh.
I was in the military at Calvary, I didn't get involved with schools too much. I just went skiing when I had time off.
Well, it's like a project that they made, you know. The students experienced so many things. They were able to talk to these experts, Skype with them. So it's like, I have another one in here. Maybe this will help.
Excuse me.
Maybe those will stop.
Hello, I'm Carolyn Long with another look inside our Fayetteville classrooms. Inquiry-based learning is one of many terms used to describe educational approaches that are driven by a learner's questions. Today we join an 8th grade science classroom where a discussion of toxic waste disposal in the Tommytown landfill is underway. Students have previously simulated environmental waste and have discussed why proper disposal is so important to Northwest Arkansas. In inquiry-based learning, the teacher's role is to guide the students in finding the answers and encourage them to ask new questions that they honestly care about. When students choose their own questions, they're motivated to learn and they develop a sense of ownership. In this example, students are working in collaborative teams to develop a question that the class will work on together to resolve questions.
We're talking about a landfill, and we know we want to prevent toxic waste from entering into the groundwater, because then inevitably, if it enters into the groundwater, then we end up drinking it, and it ends up harming us and other things around us. I want you guys to come up with the questions to test. So we've got these different materials, and I want you all to, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. During this 3 minutes, I want you to work with your partners at your tables, and I want you to brainstorm ideas. Now, these are just ideas. So, like, you guys are going to do one thing, you'll do one thing, you'll do one thing, you'll do one thing. Yeah, so you guys are all working together, but it's... About 2 seconds! In inquiry-based learning, students get to actually ask the questions, and they get to pose questions and then come up with their own answers. By doing this, they get to be actively engaged in the learning process. So when they're actively engaged, they are able to learn more and just be able to see the whole scientific process, from the asking questions stage to the gathering results and conclusion stage. I want you guys to come up with your conclusion for your experiment, your individual experiment. You're kind that conclusion.
It's not just what students learn, but also how they learn that matters.
Yeah, so we have a clear on the bottom, and it never leaks through into the bottom. The 30 milliliters in the 5 of copper chloride never got through our liner, so it was pretty efficient.
When students engage in project-based learning to collaborate, collect, and analyze real data, and then present their findings, they acquire cognitive, technological, and social skills. These skills have been identified as necessary in the 21st century classroom.
There are several different layers of inquiry and different levels of inquiry that you can do with your classrooms. The lesson that you saw today was probably around a level 2 inquiry, where the students were guided in their approach, but they still had some freedoms to do different experiments and be able to find results themselves.
We hope that you enjoyed this classroom visit and will be with us next time as we view an outdoor classroom and take a peek at project-based learning. I'm Carolyn Long.
Why are you so quiet? I'm getting nervous if you're quiet. I wanted to finish
Used to
this.
all that misbehavior, right? That just settle everybody down.
Oh, chaos.
Let's start throwing spitballs.
Now, Olivia, you heard about WebQuest, right? You're more familiar about this. You know, the beauty of WebQuest Discovery Learning is that it feeds to every subject that we are teaching, right? You can use it in English, in science, in math, social studies, whatever. So this one is in the 21st century. Usually they say that in the 21st century, students should know and should be competent in using the technology, something like that. So WebQuest is an inquiry-based activity. And with this, I would like to call Sister Rose, because she's very fabulous.
Give her some breathing space.
One more.
Actually, in the computer class, I have a chance to work on the WebQuest and create my lesson plan in the WebQuest. So at first, I didn't know what I'm going to learn it, but when you start working with it, it's really interesting. You get into it and looking at the lessons that the teachers have been posted in there is very valuable. You go up there and look at it, and this is the steps when you're creating a lesson plan in the WebQuest. This exactly the 6 steps that you have to go. First, you have to introduce yourself, introducing the topics, and then the task, what you want the student to do, the process, 1, 2, 3, 4, what do you want them to do first, second, and then the resources that where you got it from. So, and then you guide the children. You give them the web pages, where to go, guide them where, and with the questions to guide them, and what you want them to get out of that site. And then your evaluation with the children, what you want them. It's like a reflection of them to reflect what they learned, and then the conclusion. And then it's like make it very fun. Like you have to do like what I did is on fruits and vegetables. Like it's very healthy, and so that's my topics. And then kind of create a place, a setting where it's like pretend that we're going to the orchard, and then we're going to do research. We'll find fruits that are good for our health,